All right, let me get the Instagrammers up here. Oh, I thought it said Cardi B has a live video, and I was going to be like, Cardi B, but I don't follow Cardi B, so how could I have Cardi B on my thing? All right. Hi, everybody. I need your help with something. First of all, hi, welcome. It's the Magic Live Q&A Tea Party. Sunday at 5 p.m. edition, 5 p.m. Pacific. Next month, all of the month of April, we are moving the time slot to noon on Sunday, noon Pacific time, which means 12 o'clock on the West Coast, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and 3 p.m. East Coast Time, because I'm going to jolly old England, and I'm going to France and England for a month. So because I'm going to be over there, I can't do my 5 p.m. thing, or it would be up at 3 in the morning. And 3 in the morning, I'm going to be asleep. I need your help with something. I'm packing my bags. Okay, should I bring my Artful Dodger top hat with me, or should I bring my Harry Potter witch teacher hat with me? Which one should I bring with me? I can't decide. I can only bring one. I only have room enough in my bag for one, and I don't know which one. So let me know what you think. Top hat. Let's give him a look again. Top hat. Oh, consider yourself at home. Okay, that's that one. Or Harry Potter sorting hat. Which hat? Which one? Which one? Okay, so hi, everybody. Here we are. First of all, before we get started, I want to let you know about a couple of things. Coming up in May, going to be gone all of month of April. Our thing will be at noon Pacific time. Our little gathering here will be at noon, 1, 2, and 3 o'clock on the East Coast on Sundays still, but just at an earlier time for the month of April, because I'm going to be east of you guys. The other thing that's going on, I'll be back in May, and in May, I'm going to be starting my huge summer fiesta of going and teaching classes all over the country. So in May, I'm going to be teaching at Lightweavers Academy and doing readings at Lightweavers, and Lightweavers is in Sacramento. And then in June, let's see, you can look at my calendar. In June, I'm going to be in Denver at the beginning of June. So you want to come and see me there at Ritual Craft, and I'm going to be at the INATS conference. I'm going to be at both of those convention, INATS thing. July, we're working on a couple of things. July, I'm going to be up in, I don't have my list with me. I can look at my calendar. I'm also nearsighted, so I have to go look like this. I'm going to be at, in July, I'm going to be, I can't read it. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I pulled down my calendar so I can get it closer to me. I'm a nut. Okay. What's going on in July? July, I'm going to be at Soultopia in Dallas. Oh, that's right. I'm going to be doing readings there. I'm also going to be doing readings at Ritual Craft in Denver, June. Let's get the dates down. Lightweavers, September 23rd and 24th, teaching a class in candle magic, doing readings. Then June, Ritual Craft in Denver, the 5th, 6th, 10th, and 11th. And then I'm going to be at INATS the 7th, 8th, and 9th of July, both in Denver. Then in July, I'm going to be at Soultopia on the 12th, 13th, and 14th, teaching a class, the palmistry and tarot mashup class, and also teaching a class in how to make magical spell packets with tarot cards. I'm going to go to the Goddess. We're working out the details right now, but I'm going to be up at Serpent's Kiss in Santa Cruz on the 20th, around the 20th of July. Stay tuned for that one. 27th, I'm going to be at Goddess Fest in Boise, Idaho. That's 27th and 28th of July. Going into August, I'm going to be at Crescent Moon Gifts in Tacoma on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of August. I'm going to go see Cheap Trick in Seattle that's not a magical thing, but it is magical because it's Cheap Trick on the 21st. So come hang out, rock out with me on the 21st. 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, I'm going to be attending Temple Fest. And then as we move into September, going to be on the East Coast, looking at a couple places in New Hampshire, in Massachusetts, and in Brooklyn, New York, Catland Books in Brooklyn. So we're looking at all those. That's kind of in the cauldron right now for some magical classes going to be taught. I'm teaching it at Catland. They're interested in me teaching my class on petition paper. So if you are in New York and you want to learn how to do an awesome petition paper, all the ways that you can do petition papers, going to come to Catland, but we don't have a date yet. Catland's got to get back to me with a date. Hey, Catland, got to get back to me. Love those guys there. It's a great little store. All right, so that's what's coming up. And let's see what else is going on. Oh, one more thing I want to announce. Brand new blog, brand spanking new blog up on my site. If you go under instruction and you go to Magic Blog, you will head right there to my blog. Guess what? My blog is now up on Your Tango worldwide, Madame Pamita worldwide, giving all the masses, all the newbies, all their information about magic. How do I do a spell? Is witchcraft evil? What does it mean when I see 1111? So check that out. Go over to my blog underneath instruction, go to Magic Blog, and you can see my blog postings that are now on Your Tango. Super easy, fast little bites of information about magic, spiritualism, divination, all that good stuff. So on Your Tango now. All right, let's see what we got going on. Cheap Trick. Yeah, I see someone posted Cheap Trick. Oh, yay. That was Helen. Helen's a Cheap Trick fan. So am I. Back, you would have find something fun. I had a band in the early 2000s called Cheap Chick, which was all women doing Cheap Trick, and I was the bass player. That was me. All right, so let's see what we've got going on YouTube. Oh, Nina Martin says, hi, you rocked it on Third Eye Thinkers. That's right. I was on Third Eye Thinkers this past week. You can still catch the episode on their podcast, which is on iTunes, Third Eye Thinkers, 3RDIEYE Thinkers. You can also catch a video of it on YouTube. And so if you go over to YouTube and you look at up Third Eye Thinkers, I think it's Michelle Soultopia. It's Michelle from Soultopia's podcast, and Megan, her partner in this podcast world. You can see us talking about some cool stuff, including tarot packets. So if you're interested, what's a tarot packet? What's a tarot spell packet? You can see what I'm talking about, and talk about the class that I'm going to be teaching over there at Soultopia. Cute. Annette says, hello, family. It is a big group of us here and a big family here, and we all help each other. When comes in, you always come in the beginning when, how often should one get a tarot card reading? And are tarot card readings done by the help of spirits? That's an awesome question. I love that question. So here's what I tell my clients. When you get a tarot reading, I think there can be the thing of like too many opinions, right, about a subject. So if you're going to get a tarot reading about your topic and you're shopping tarot readers and you're all asking them all the same question, the tarot readers that are on point are all going to have the same answer for you on this one. So unless something has changed, or you've done something different, or you have a different question, there's kind of no point in going back and getting a reading about the same topic over and over again. Usually we do that when we are, like if we're nervous about something, or we don't like the answer that we got. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get a second opinion. If your gut is telling you, this reader really didn't get, I wasn't really resonating with this reader, of course you can get a second opinion. But as for me, with my clients, my clients will say, well, like, how soon can I come back to you? And I always say to them, if something has shifted, if something has changed, or you have a new question, or there's new information of some kind that you want to add into your reading, you are welcome to come back and get a new reading. We can look at the situation again and see where things are now. And I do have clients that will say, like, okay, they're working on a certain situation and here's what's happening now. And then they might see me in a week or two and say, okay, that thing has now turned into this thing, and I want to see where we're at. So you can come in as often as you want if that's what you need to check in at any given point of time. But if nothing has changed and there's nothing new to add to the situation, and there's no new information, there's no new anything, coming back and getting the same reading over and over again, what you will find is you will keep getting that same message over and over again. And it's more an issue of, it's like a kind of a waste of your money to be coming back and keep asking the same question and keep getting the same information. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But I think it's just kind of a waste of your time and a waste of your money to be doing that. So there is no limit or minimum or maximum on time between readings. There's nothing like that from my perspective. Do I get readings done with the help of spirit? I'm a spiritualist. My path is a new thought spiritualist. Okay, so let's understand what that is. New thought is law of attraction work, that you have the power within you. And as a spiritualist, I work with, spirits and spirit guides and all of that. But I believe that within all of us, we have the power with our will and with our thought to change a reality. But I'm also a witch as well. And I do believe that we can do root work, we can do magic spells, we can do these things to help also keep our focus on something and push it in a direction that we want it to go. So when I do a reading, yes, I am consulting with your guides. When I sit down with you for a tarot card reading, I meet with your guides, and your guides will often have messages for you. It's not a spirit guide reading, which is no cards. Spirit guide reading is just your guides, meeting your guides and letting them give you messages. But when we sit down for a reading with the tarot cards, your guides will often jump in with like some tidbit of information, something that they want you to know. And I'll get sometimes very strong group messages from your guides of yes or no about a certain topic or information that they feel very strongly about as a group. But then once in a while, one will come up. It will show up in the cards. It's not purely a spirit guide reading, but it's interesting because sometimes the guides are very chatty. Your guides, depending on who you are, will be very chatty. And they may give me a message even as I'm shuffling the cards, and I'll be listening to their message. And then when I lay down the cards, it's like, well, lo and behold, it confirms what they were saying about this topic at hand. So just depending on how chatty your guides are, how soon they jump in with information. Yes, but yes, there are spirits, and they're your spirit guides. They're positive. They're there to love. They're in love, and they're to support you. So they're all positive spirits, and I only work with positive spirits. So there you go. Let's look what we got on Instagram. What else do we have? Hi, cute little Instagrammers. Hi, Madam Pamita. All right, let's take serious questions. Top hat. People are voting for the top hat. Top hat, everyone's saying. Oh, we had American Rebel saying Harry Potter witch hat. I think top hat is winning. All right. Okay. Thank you. Everyone say, I love your hair. Zen Trickster, I already asked the question, when are you coming back to New York City? I'm going to be coming back. Zen Trickster, I've been coming back and see you. I'm going to be coming back hopefully end of August or beginning of September, somewhere around there. Oh, Julieta's Life. Auntie Pamita, there's one of my French nieces. Maybe I'll see you. I'm going to be seeing your sister. Okay. Oh, sweet. I'm marking my calendar for July 13th to 15th to take a trip to Dallas to see you. I love that. Oh, so much love, you guys. You're so sweet. Okay. So Bira in Love says, how would you use a knob candle to draw in a new lover? Let's talk about what a knob candle is. So there's 7 knob candles. I haven't seen a 9 knob candle or a 3 knob candle. The only ones I've ever seen are 7 knob candles. So when we talk about a knob candle, what we're talking about is a candle that looks like they're either little, like they're little balls, or they're little ovals that are one on top of the other. So sometimes you see them, they're kind of squished ones, and those are 7 knob candles, but they're like one on top of the other, or like the ones that I sell in my shop, which are a longer knob. It's a bigger one, so taller one. All right. So 7 knob candles are a way of working that we're going to burn. It's like 7 spells in 7 days, right? Each one of those knobs, you're going to burn it, and you're going to burn it over the course of 7 days, 1 knob per day. Now, the way that we can work with a 7 knob spell, there are 2 ways that you can work with a 7 knob spell. And there's a third alternate that isn't a 7 knob spell, but I'm going to tell you about that one. So you can either work with making the same intention over the 7 days, meaning in a prosperity spell, you could just put prosperity, 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 and inscribe that on your candle 7 times and just be working on that prosperity, building up the energy as you do it over the course of 7 days, right? Now, another way you can work with a 7 knob candle is to put different things on each day, right? I'm going to burn a candle for success. So I want success with my clients. I want success with my mail order business. I want success with my YouTube channel. I want success with my writing. I want success with my whatever, whatever, whatever. And you could put those 7 different things that sort of go along together. You wouldn't put 7 wildly different things. But 7 things that go along together. Great example of this is maybe you want to do a white 7 knob candle for blessing. You could put 7 different blessings: health, happiness, contentment, prosperity, whatever, whatever. And you could put that on those seven different ones, but all of them having blessings coming into those areas of your life. Here's the alternate way that you can do a 7 knob candle. It's not a 7 knob candle. You could light 7 different candles over the course of 7 days and have a 7-day spell. So you choose small candles, either like a thick taper or a slim taper, and you can burn those 7 candles over 7 days, or 3 candles over 3 days, or 13 candles over 13 days, whatever you want. Now, what you would do to draw in a new lover, you could do it one of 2 ways. You could write a petition paper describing the qualities of that lover that you want to bring in, or the kind of love you want to bring in, and then put it underneath the tray where you have that 7 knob candle. And then you could write on each knob, my true love or my soulmate or whatever, over and over again 7 times. Or you could write 7 important qualities of that relationship that you want to bring in. Someone who's faithful, somebody who adores me, somebody who is a happy person, whatever. On each of those knobs, write 7 different things. Okay. So there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can decide what you want to do, either one thing, my true love, that kind of encompasses all of it, or 7 different qualities of that person that you want to bring in. All right. So there you go. You don't have to worry about bringing 7 different people in, because your intention, unless you want to bring 7 people in, hey, I'm not going to judge. You want 7 different lovers? Have at it. But if you want one person, your intention is going to be for one person, and then that one person that has all those 7 qualities. Okay. You would use, by the way, you would use a red or pink candle. Red for super hot, passionate love. Pink for a heart-connected, romantic sort of love. If you wanted a little bit of both, you could take and add support candles. So you could use a pink master candle, your master candles in the center, and then support candles around it in red. Or you could use a red master candle with pink support candles, and that way you can blend in those 2 colors. Put an oil on it in an upward motion. True love oil, soulmate oil, attraction oil, any of those are good for that. And you would do that and then light it each day. As your knob is finishing up, you snuff it out, you don't blow it out, and then the next day you relight the candle again and burn another knob. The last day you let it burn out completely. That's your 7th knob. So I think that covers the 7 knob candle. If you want to know more about 7 knob candles, I do have a video up about a prosperity 7 knob candle. You can watch and see how that burns and do that whole thing, how you prepare that candle. Hot dog from Book Show LA. Good job, girl. You got in there. Okay. Here's a good question. Anne asks, why is the Motor City Hoodoo candle, road opener candle, blue? All right. So it's very interesting. I'm working on, by the way, you guys, I'm working on a candle magic book right now. It's happening. I'm working on it. And today I was going through and sort of revising things and adding things and, going on my second pass on the beginning book. I have a beginning book and an advanced book that I'm doing. And in the beginning book, I talk about color magic, and I was actually working on that this morning. So, and then I had a client today who was asking about color magic, and she was reading one thing, one place, and another thing, another place, and why were these different opinions about things. So let's talk about why color magic. So Motor City Hoodoo candles are made by Coventry Creations. I don't make those. I sell those because they're great candles. They're made with herbs and oils that support the work, and they're great candles. So why do they have a blue candle for road opener. So blue energy is it's got a kind of interesting energy. Blue candles are for healing. They're also for communication. They're also for ideas. So I don't know. I can't get into Jackie Smith's mind about why she used a blue candle, but if she used a blue candle for road opener, I'm guessing that what she's thinking about as she does this candle is that she wants the opening to be, she wants it to be about communication. She wants it to be smooth and harmonious. And she wants it to be like new ideas popping into someone's head. That can be why you would use a blue candle for a road opener spell. I was taught to use orange for road opening. It's more forceful. It's an energy of like new beginnings, new opportunities, and so on. So I use orange. Someone else uses blue. It's their thing. I can recommend to you a book, actually, if I can find it here, under my top hat, maybe under my witch hat. Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on, guys. Got to take off my leash. Hold on. Here's a book so Jackie Smith, that owns Coventry Creation, wrote a great book on candle magic that I love very much. And it wouldn't be my book, but here's what she says about blue. My book's going to be, here we go. Blue transforms violence, anger, and hate. And it's associated with the West. It's good for legal matters, she says, loyalty, business. So that's why she's probably making a blue road opener. She doesn't say road opening. She doesn't say openings in her description of blue, but she had her reasons for choosing blue, and those candles work great. So I'm not going to question that. I just have a different opinion about what color would be used for road opening. So to each their own. I also, a client brought up today the idea that there are, she said, I saw somewhere that black candles are used for cursing only. And I said, black candles are not used for cursing only. That's that person's opinion. But to me, that doesn't look at the idea that black candles are used for protection. Black candles are used for binding, breaking, changing things. They're used for reversing. You don't see a reversing candle. It's got black and red. It's got black and white. It's got black on the top to clear off the negativity. So yes, you can use a black candle for cursing work, but there's so many things that you can use a black candle for that are beyond that are what I would consider positive things. Protection work, clearing, cleansing work, breaking and uncrossing is a black candle. So someone that just says it's for cursing, to me, says something that they're not really, maybe not, they're looking at something in a very limited way. So, all right, let's look over at Instagram again. American Rebel says at 1931 says, can you use Santissima Muerte to do a love spell? Also, do love spells backfire? Okay, two great questions. So Santa Muerte, Santissima Muerte, Santa Muerte. Santa Muerte is a candle and an oil that I sell. They are used in connection with a spirit. So first you got to go back. If you're going to be doing any work with Santa Muerte, you first have to be conscious, aware, and connected to that spirit. You don't go into somebody's house and say, hey, person I've never seen before, give me $20. They would call the cops or kick you out or tell you you're a crazy person, get out of here. So whenever we're doing spirit work, you don't walk up to a spirit and say, give me what I want. You have to do some work with the spirit before you can even go there. Very first thing you have to do is ask the spirit, will you work with me? Can we work together? And can this be a relationship that we build, right? It's got a real kind of negative energy if you're taking spirits and you're demanding that they do these things for you. That I don't think will fly. I don't think you're going to get a good result from that. So working with Santa Muerte in particular, we're now going into a saint, a spirit from a certain culture. So If you are in a dominant culture, like white European culture, you do not go into somebody else's culture going, okay, I'm just going to take that and I'm going to do what I want with it and then use it how I want to use it. Bad manners, bad form, bad manners. Don't do it. If you're going to work with Santa Muerte, I don't know what your heritage is or what your background is. First, connect to that culture. First, connect to Mexican culture because Santa Muerte comes from Mexican culture. Um, get into that before you even start that in a way that is respectful and in a way that honors that culture. I would even say don't even go to Santa Muerte unless you are in involved in some way in a positive, supportive way for Mexican culture with Mexican culture before you even work with Santa Muerte. Like, don't go working with Black Hawk if you're not connected to Native American culture, and in particular to the Sauk and Fox tribes, which is where Black Hawk came from. You got to get yourself into it first before you can start calling on these very specific guides to be helping with you. Anyway, all right, because I know Santa Muerte is super popular. Everybody wants to work with Santa Muerte, but check yourself before you start doing that, right? If you are doing that, if you are going there, if you are supporting a Mexican orphanage, if you are going down to Mexico and spending time down there, if you are getting involved in the culture, if you are coming reverentially and respectfully to temples that are run by Mexican people that are working with Santa Muerte, if you're learning Spanish, if you are doing all these things that are kind of the runway before you can even go to work with Santa Muerte, then and only then can you go and ask Santa Muerte, can we work together? Can we do work together? Right? Great. After you've asked that question, then you will get signs from Santa Muerte. You'll see Santa Muerte places, images of Santa Muerte. You might have dreams about Santa Muerte. Then you can start working with her. Okay, great. Next step, then you create an altar of reverence, of love, of giving, of support for Santa Muerte. Before you even ask for anything, you need to be spending time with these saints, with these spirits, and spending time doing the reverential thing, like honoring them. Then and only then can you say, all right, I've done my homework. I've done all the runway work. I'm immersed in this culture. I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do, and I've honored you. And you said that you will work with me. Now I can ask you for help with love work. All right. So that's where you go with that. So can you use Santa Muerte for a love spell? Absolutely. She is amazing for love work. She is going to be particularly helpful in situations where traditionally she works with women who have philandering husbands. That is her specialty. But she can be used, and not used. I say she can be asked for assistance in any way that works with love. But in particular, that's what she does to keep your husband faithful to you. So, if that's your situation, fabulous. If you've done all that runway work, fabulous. If she said she'll work with you, fabulous. Have you done your honoring effort? Fabulous. Now you can ask her to help you with your love situation. Do love spells backfire? Let's talk about spells backfiring. There's two concepts about backfiring. Number one, can I do a spell and screw it up? And if I screw it up, will it screw up the situation? The answer is no. If you do a spell and you do it wrong, nothing will happen. It's like if I make a cake and I pour salt into the batter instead of sugar into that batter, what do I end up with? No cake, no edible cake, right? Got a nice doorstop, but no edible cake. So the same thing with a spell. If you blow out your candle, if you knock the candle over, if the something crazy happens with your candle, does it make things worse than they were before? No, it just does nothing. If you really screw it up, it does nothing. So a spell cannot backfire because you do something wrong. It just won't work. Then you start over again with a new candle and you do the work the right way the second time. Can a spell backfire in a sense of another concept of backfiring is, can I do a love spell and then it comes back to me in a way that is worse for me? That question is, yeah, it could. Because if you're doing work in a way that you're binding somebody to you, I'm going to have this person bound to me. you do good work, you will have that person bound to you. But what happens if you don't want to be with that person anymore? You get tired of them, or they're not who you thought they were, or you find somebody new or whatever. Now you've got this person bound to you. Can you undo it? Sure, but it makes a big mess, right? I'm going to get this person obsessed with me. They're going to be obsessed with me. Great. You got them obsessed with you, but now they're like knocking on your door at 3 a.m. and texting you all night long and asking where you are every time you weren't checking in with them. So it's not backfiring in the sense that you're creating something and it's going the opposite of what you want. It's like you're so darn good at what you're doing, but you didn't realize and think through what you were doing enough to think maybe that's not what I really want, and that I don't consider backfiring. That I consider you're getting what you want. Now you got to fix it because you asked for them to be obsessed with you. Now they're obsessed with you and they won't leave you alone and driving you crazy. You got to fix it. So I wouldn't call that backfiring, but that's what some people call backfiring. You're not going to do a love spell and have everybody hate you. You're not going to do a money spell and be poorer than you were when you started. You're not going to do a health spell and have a horrible health thing happen to you. That kind of backfiring doesn't happen. But the be careful what you wish for backfiring. Yes, I have seen that. So be careful with what you're wishing. Here's an example. Great example. I had a client come to me many years ago and said that they want to do an intranquil spirit spell. So an intranquil spirit spell is where you get a spirit to dog someone, to follow someone and make their life miserable until they come back to you. I don't do intranquil spirit spells. I don't do it. Why? Because that's exactly the kind of spell that can backfire on you. That's exactly the kind of spell where you don't know what you're getting into. And if you're not, it's just bad. It's just a bad spell, right? So when this person came to me, I said, don't do an intranquil spirit spell. Do a spell to make yourself attractive. Do a spell to draw this person to you. Do the spell to open up love coming into your life. Don't do an intranquil spirit. But they went skipping off into the sunset and they went and found someone to do an intranquil spirit spell for them. Then 1 month later, they come back to me and they're in tears and upset and freaking out because their lover that they sent the intranquil spirit to now has cancer. And what can I do about it? And I'm like, honey, I told you, don't do an intranquil spirit spell. It is bad news. Yeah, now you've got this sick person back that you're going to nurse and care for that person. Okay, but how ugly is that? How mean is that? That's you wanted that person to control that person so badly that you are willing to destroy their health and destroy their life just so that you can have them. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's backfiring, and that's a spell backfiring. So they got what they wanted. They got the intranquil spirit to curse this person, but they got what they wanted, and then they were upset with the result. And I'm like, I told you not to do. I mean, that's the one time I said, I told you so. I don't really say I told you so, but I really said, I told you so. I'm like, don't mess with that kind of stuff. It's no good. It's no good for the person. It's no good for the relationship. And it is not high vibration. I won't mess with it. And I don't recommend that you mess with it. So that's a spell backfiring. That's a great example of a spell backfiring, but it's not backfiring. It's the fact that they got what they wanted that was the problem. So, all right. Let's look over at YouTube. All right. Nina Martin says, what's the best way to develop an intuitive ability? Specifically, I think I'm clairsentient. Awesome. I also feel others' energies very strongly, and lately it is amped up. This is awesome. Okay, so how can you develop your intuition? This is a question that all of us should be asking. Intuition is helpful. Intuition is what I perceive. I perceive things on a level, not just what's right in front of my face, not just what I'm getting with my 5 senses of sight and sound and touch and taste and smell, but I'm perceiving something on an energetic level. So there are 3 branches. Some people say 4, but I'll explain that in a second. 3 branches of clairs, right? There's clairvoyance. I see an image in my mind's eye. I see an image in my mind's eye. So that means you can sometimes see things physically, but it's like an overlay. It's not having a hallucination. It's like, oh, I see that spirit behind you, or I see that aura around you, right? That can be clairvoyance. Or I see an image of where things are going to go and what things are happening. There's Audience. So clairaudience is that you hear voices in your mind's ear. It's not like hearing a voice like, hey, what did they say? But you get words and you get sentences and you get messages that are in an auditory form, not a visual form, but an auditory form. And then there's clairsentience. You get a feeling. Now, it can be a physical feeling in your body where you have like chills or your hairs stand up, or you feel a pain or you feel a pressure in a certain area of your body. That's one form of clairsentience. Or it can be sensing people's emotions. So you can walk into a room and go, ooh, there was just an argument in this room. Or you can, hold something, do psychometry and hold something and go, wow, this person was really famous. I can feel their I can feel their energy of radiating now. They're like they're on a stage or they're performing or whatever. So you're having a sense that, and those are the two clairsentience. So there's a clairsentience. I call those emotional feelings and physical feelings. I lump them together as clairsentience. Some people separate them. So if you're clairsentient and you're getting and feeling other energies and you're an empath, the first thing that I would do as you're starting to do that is to start to think about, okay, I'm going to have a bubble around me that is only going to let in useful information. I can open that gate or close that gate at my will. I'm not going to walk into a store and get everybody's emotions because that's overwhelming. I'm going to put a little bubble around me. If I'm in an environment where I don't really want to be picking up people's emotions, I'll block it out and I'll open it up. Okay, so a visualization or a sensation or a visualization about feeling this bubble around you would be very, very good and helpful if you're starting to have that um, uh, skill of clairsentience or clairaudience or clairvoyance. You don't want to be constantly getting messages from everywhere you go and picking up everybody's energy. The other thing that can be helpful is if you're developing any of the clairs, if you're developing any of your intuitive senses, I always say start working with a pendulum. A pendulum is something on a string or a chain, it has a weight at the bottom, and it swings. And I have a video up under instruction on my website, under instruction, about how to work with a pendulum. It's an old video. My hair's short, cute. I'm 10 or 15 years younger. I don't know. I'm a lot younger. Anyway, you can watch that video and see how to work with a pendulum. So when you work with a pendulum, it's going to give you answers from your intuition, unless you're working with a pendulum to connect to your spirit guides. That's a whole other thing. But generally, a pendulum is used to connect to your intuition. So let's say you have a sense about something. I feel like that person's energy feels really angry, even though they're smiling at me and they look really friendly. I feel like there's anger there. And I want to make sure that I'm right about that. So I'm going to get out my pendulum and ask the question, is so and so angry right now? Yes or no? Oh, it says yes. So my intuition was right. And that's a way to get a confirmation about those things that you're doing, which will strengthen your intuitive muscle. You'll start to know when you're getting an intuition feeling, either the physical feeling or you're getting a message or you're seeing a vision. You can ask anything with the pendulum to get a confirmation about what it is you're already sensing. Oh, I saw a vision that my friend is going to win a lottery ticket. And then you can ask that that pendulum is my friend going to win a lottery ticket? Yes or no? Win a lottery. All right. So that's a way to start to develop that. It's like lifting weights for your intuition when you work with a pendulum. I love it. I think it's one of the most immediate gratification divination tools. It's highly accurate. And if you work with a pendulum, you can start to develop that intuition so that you get at that point where you don't need the pendulum anymore. You will just know, oh, I'm thinking about my friend winning the lottery and my hairs are standing up on my arms. I feel that energy. Yes, it's going to happen, right? So that you'll know that that's going to be the situation. All right. Let's look over at, hi, Creme Fatale. Schizosaurus Rex. Are there any common reasons why a mini spell would not work? Schizosaurus Rex. That's a good question. So when we have a spell, first thing we need to know is we don't usually see immediate results with a spell. Like it isn't like a spell most of the time, although sometimes we do. We can light a spell and see, even while the spell is burning, seeing results. That means the thing was already moving in that direction and we just sped it up really fast. You know, it was already moving toward that good outcome, but we wanted to really make it go there. And we lit the spell and wow, it really just rocketed off. But most spells, generic, you know, sort of in the generic sense, generally speaking, most spells take some time to work. So what we want to do is check in with our spell work. Let's say you did a candle for prosperity, right? What kind of vision were you having? If you're having a vision of being a millionaire and right now you're making, you know, a okay wage or you're not making enough, but your vision is a big vision, it might take more than one spell to get you to the place of being a millionaire. That's the kind of way, I mean, it certainly could happen overnight. All kinds of crazy things happen overnight, but generally it's kind of a path to get to a place, right? You can't hear them, but I can hear them. The wild parrots are out there. I got wild parrots outside of my house. Every dusk, they come out. Um, all right, so you're doing your prosperity spell. Once your spell and candle is complete, that is the time that you check in with it. Now, you can check in with it by seeing in the first few days after the spell is complete, you should see some messages from the universe about it. Messages from the universe can be things like, oh, I found a penny in the street. That's amazing. A penny in the street is not your $1,000,000, but a penny in the street is a sign from the universe about prosperity. It's super simple, right? Or you might see something like a word, or you might hear something from somebody, or someone might say something to you. Those are all messages from out there in the universe, and we need to be paying attention in those first few days after our candle spell is complete. Then we start to look for movement. Oh, I'm not a millionaire yet, but within 3 weeks, I should get some kind of movement toward being a millionaire, right? That movement will be something like, oh, I got a raise at work. Oh, I found $20. Oh, somebody gave me some money that they owed me and I forgot all about it and I got this free money. Oh, I found a $5 bill in my pocket. That's more of a movement energy. Maybe even those are signs, but the big sign would be like you're getting money back from people that owe you money or you're getting a raise at work, you know, something substantial. Final culmination of your spell work can happen between 1 day and 90 days. Within 90 days, you should get the result. Now, if your work is to be a millionaire, you might have to do more than one spell. So I don't know what your prosperity spell was about, your money spell was about, but if your money spell was so big, you might have to do more than one. But if you're seeing signs along the way, it's like, oh, this is good. Yeah, I'm on the right path. This is coming to me. Okay, maybe I need to do some other kind of work because I didn't get to be a millionaire in 90 days. Maybe I need to do something like wear a mojo bag that's more ongoing, a different kind of working, right? Or maybe I need to do a honey jar for prosperity so that, you know, my clients are wanting to come back to me and, you know, and all those sorts of things. Or maybe I want to get the boss to be to give me a raise or a promotion, and so I'm going to do a honey jar on the boss. So those kinds of things that are ongoing might be better for a prosperity spell, unless your prosperity spell is more specific. I don't know what your spell was, so hard to say. Why a money spell would not work at all? Let's say your money spell didn't work at all. No signs, no messages, no outcome, nothing. Then I would go back and look to see if it was burned in a glass container of some kind. Was there a lot of smoke? Was there a lot of soot? A lot of soot or smoke would indicate that there are spiritual blockages around the situation. Oh, okay. So that means I need to do a spiritual cleansing, either a bath or burn a energetic purification candle or do something like that to clear up the situation before I do my money spell. And then I would redo my money spell. Was there a lot of wax left over? Did you have excess amount of wax? Did the candle go out before it was really complete? Was there a lot of excess wax on the jar that I burned my candle in? If that's the case, then what it's saying, there's a message in that for you. And the message is you need to do more work on the physical realm. You need to support that money spell with some action in the material world, right? It is all well and good for me to light a steady work candle, but if I'm not sending out my resume, it's not like pizza delivery. They're not going to knock on my door and say, hey, we got a job for you and you're the perfect person for it. I need to put myself out there in some way. Same thing with love spells, same thing with anything, you know? So if your money spell is showing you a message that there's a lot of excess wax, it's like, okay, I need to add something to my intention. I need to show up in some way. It doesn't mean that you have to, lift a whole bunch of stuff unless it's really a lot of wax. You have to do something though to bring that money in. You can't just say, I want money, you know, even lottery spells. If you're not playing the lottery, you can do all the lottery spells in the world and you don't have a lottery ticket. How are you going to win the lottery? You got to do something on a material level. So if you're doing a money spell, look to see what those candle remains tell you. I have a description, like a kind of overview on my site under instruction, under how-to guides. There's a candle how-to guide. And in there, I tell you, how do we read the remains of your candle spell? What is it? What are we looking for? Is there soot or smoke? No? Great. Is there excess wax? No? Awesome. Is there something else that's going on? You got to look and see. Glass break or whatever. Okay, so look at that how-to guide and you can see if there's something, a message for you in that spell work. All right? Hal Sear says, what has been the most random ingredient? What has been the most random ingredient that you have used in a working? Mine is using Viagra in sachet powder. Well, Brendan, I guess you could do that. Certainly, that could be something. I can't think of a random ingredient. That's a funny question. Random. Well, here's what I'll tell you. It's not quite a random ingredient, but this is something that I think is super important about ingredients. I am very much an herbal person, and working with natural things as much as possible, because there's nothing wrong with using Viagra or using something else in your spell work, plastic in your spell work, or anything artificial in your spell work. You can do that. However, when we get to life essence, there's there's not a lot of life essence in things that don't come or aren't closely connected to the natural world. There's more life essence in those things, right? So if I get a piece of plastic, yeah, that plastic came from ancient prehistoric rotting vegetation. Yeah. But if I get a plant, it's going to have more vital life force in it. It's going to have more, we would say, organ in it. It has more life force in it, right? So it's going to help my spell, I believe, a little more. My belief, you can do it how you want, right? So I will say this is not a random ingredient, but we have a book of herbs, right? You have a book that talks about herbs and they have a list of maybe 300, maybe even a really complete herbal magical encyclopedia might have 500 plants in this world that they use and tell you the magical uses for them. Does that mean that only those 500 or 300 or 150 plants that they list are the only magical ones? No. Every single plant in this world has energy to it and it has properties that it can do and it can help you magically. So, guess what, explorers, all my Aquarians out there, all my people that like to explore new territory, all my Sagittarians and Aquarians, guess what you guys get to do? You get to be explorers. When you find a plant that you can identify with a guide, or maybe not, that you just find a plant that you don't know anything about, sit with that plant, sit with that herb, and let it talk to you. Let it tell you what it can do for you magically. That herb, that plant may not be in any book. It may not be listed as a magical plant, but it is a magical plant. It can tell you what magic it can do. So if you find a flower and that flower is not one that you can identify, or that flower is not one that is listed in any magical book, you can use it magically, but you have to get attuned to it. You have to listen to it, let it tell you what it is. So in terms of like weird ingredients, I've used plants that are not listed magically in my magical spells. Why? Because I sat down with a plant, I had a conversation with it, and it told me what it could do, and it told me it could help with that spell work. So I don't even need to know the name of the plant. I have to identify it, although I wouldn't. Leaves of 3, let them be. Let's just say that. I want to work with that plant, and it talks to me and it says that it wants to work with me, it says, yes, this is what I can do, I'll incorporate it. So it isn't a particular weird ingredient. It's just that I sometimes go direct to the source without looking something up or without my book knowledge about magical plants. And I use plants. You could use grass on the lawn. You know, grass on the lawn is probably not listed in any book, but could you use it in a spell? Sure. Sit down on the grass, get in touch with the grass, listen to the grass, spend some time with it, ask it what it can do, and then incorporate it in your spell work as it says it can assist with. You know, listen to it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, on Instagram. Oh, will you be doing an instructional video using your Genie lamp for your YouTube? Yes, I have one that I have done, and I have to go through them and just approve the edits, and they're ready to go. I have some new videos coming up. They're all about the spell kits. So every spell kit that I have, the latest batch of videos, is an exact replica of the spell kit instructions. So if you want to know what that spell kit is about, I'm going to have a video showing you exactly what comes in the spell kit, how to do the spell. It's going to be showing you exactly, because this is what has happened. I'm like, okay, there's all kinds of different ways that you can work with it. Let's say we've got we're doing a candle. We're working with a Goddess of Willendorf candle. I'm going to sell the spell kit, and you can use that spell kit for the things that I tell you. And there's directions that come with the spell kit. But I did some other spell with the Venus of Willendorf candle, and I'm going to put that into my website underneath that. And then people are like, but wait a minute. I'm ordering the spell kit, but what you show in the video is different than what you have in the spell kit. I'm just showing you that there's different ways of working with these candles, that you don't have to follow the spell kit instructions exactly. You could, or you could go off in your own direction. But it was kind of people that like a lot of structure were like going, oh my gosh. So I did a whole batch of videos that are all about the spell kits and the spell kit instructions. And because we have an Aladdin's lamp spell, which is like a wishing spell and manifesting, and it's amazing spell work to do, I have a video that shows how to do that. So that's going to be coming up. Got to get those done. I've been sitting on them. It's me. Sorry, guys. I've been doing a lot of other things, but I will get on that, and I will get those videos done, and so we can get those up and you can see those. And I'll make sure that the Aladdin's lamp one is the first one I put up. How's that? All right. Harry Potter top hat. Oh, we have, okay, I'm looking at the votes now going over on YouTube. 2 for Harry Potter, 1 for top hat. Bobby Munster says very Stevie Nicks. That's a plus. 3 for Harry Potter, 2 more for top hat, 3 for a top hat. Okay, looks like top hat's the winner. What are the best? Christina, hi Christina, says, what are the best ways to use Queen Elizabeth oil? I love Queen Elizabeth oil. We've got a few more minutes. I'm going to talk about Queen Elizabeth. Super awesome oil to work with. So Queen Elizabeth as a root, you will see most places say, this is an example of what we were just talking about, sitting down with a root, sitting down with a plant, sitting down with a dried plant matter, sitting down with a living plant, doing whatever it is that you can to connect to that plant. All right. So let's talk about Queen Elizabeth root. When you connect to Queen Elizabeth root, as I have done, and meditated with Queen Elizabeth root and worked with Queen Elizabeth root very deeply, most people say Queen Elizabeth root is to get everybody to be paying attention to you. It is like, ooh, I am irresistible. I am hot, and everybody wants to be with me. That is one part of Queen Elizabeth root, but it is not the essence of Queen Elizabeth root. The essence of Queen Elizabeth root is empowerment, feminine empowerment, feminine empowerment. So what is feminine empowerment about? How does that look like? What does it feel like? It is confidence. It is walking into the room and knowing like you're like Beyonce or Rihanna walking into that room. Does Beyonce or Rihanna or Madonna or any Queen Elizabeth, the real Queen Elizabeth, walk into the room with the expectation of, oh, I better make sure that everybody likes me. I'm not sure about myself. No, they walk in with confidence, right? They walk in with confidence. Here I am. I'm Beyonce. I'm walking into the room, right? Okay. So Queen Elizabeth root is about that self-love and self-empowerment that radiates out into the world and is so magnetic. It is magnetic when we see people who are quietly confident, who know their worth, who feel their power, who feel the empowerment. It is not about, hey, everybody look at me. And it's not about like, you're not paying attention to me. It is about walking in with of course, but of course. And when we use Queen Elizabeth in love spells, here's the thing. It is about having a standard. It's about having a standard. You are not the beggar girl or the beggar boy, but beggar girl, we would say with Queen Elizabeth. You are not the girl begging for scraps on the table. Please, sir, may I have some more? Or wait a minute. Let me get my hat on for this one. Well, the Artful Dodger didn't say that, but Oliver. Please, sir, may I have some more? That's not Queen Elizabeth. That is not Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth is about walking into your room and going, of course I'm going to get the best. I have that expectation. If you are coming to me as a suitor, you are going to bring your A game. You are not going to bring me garbage. You are not going to bring me crappy behavior. You're not going to bring me, I'm not looking for a cheater. So you're not going to be a cheater. Because if you don't want all of this, I will go find someone who does and who will treat me nicely. Hey, isn't that a crazy idea? Crazy idea that you actually have worth, that you are empowered, that you are deserving of having someone treating you with love and respect and care and attention, and that they adore you and love you and think you are amazing and can't wait to be with you and want to treat you like a queen, like a queen. It's not about making them grovel. It's about them treating you like, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Guess where that starts? It starts with you. Sorry, I'm hitting my microphone. It starts with you. It starts in your heart. If your heart is whole and you love yourself and you believe in your own self-worth, which you are all worthy. I'm going to tell you that secret right now. I tell you the secret right now. You are all worthy of having amazing love in your life. You are all worthy of the best. You are all worthy of the best, right? If you have that self-love, you don't have to be a jerk out in the world. You don't have to make people do what you want, and you don't have to do an intranquil spirit on your ex-lover. Because why? Because you know I'm worth having the best, and I'm worth having somebody that's going to treat me with love and kindness and respect and fidelity and honor, and who has fun with me, and we are great together, and we are amazing as a couple, right? Or triple, or whatever your thing is, right? So that's what Queen Elizabeth is about. Queen Elizabeth is about you feeling your, as my friend Judy and Chelsea would say, your zhuzh. You feel your zhuzh, right? It's like, I feel good. I feel like a love goddess. I feel like I'm worthy. And so guess what comes to me? Amazing people come to me. If you're not going to bring your A game, okay, you can take that somewhere else, and I'll go find someone who will bring me the A game, because I deserve the A game. I deserve the A game. I am not Oliver Twist begging for gruel. I am not Oliver Twist. I'm the Artful Dodger going out and picking pockets. How you like that? So anyway, that's what Queen Elizabeth is about. Queen Elizabeth is about female empowerment, feminine empowerment, because in our culture, there's not an equality between men and women have to remember their power, and they have to remember how much we have and how much we have to offer, how worthy we are. That's, it's not just for women only. If you want feminine empowerment and you're a man, great. But it is about being in that position where you are at a disadvantage and realizing your worth and coming up to the place of like, yep, I'm going to get it because I expect it. And guess what happens when you expect love, when you expect respect, you get respect. You're not begging for gruel. No, none of you should be begging for gruel. None of you. You don't have to. So put on some Queen Elizabeth oil and tell yourself, look into the mirror and say, I am a queen. I'm a queen. Or you could put on yourself, I'm a king, but I'm a queen. I'm a love goddess. Of course the best is going to want me. Of course you're going to want to be with me. And if you don't, and if you treat me like dirt, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, and move on. All right, my loves. Speaking of moving on, I got to finish packing my bag for England and France. Do you think I'll get a fake English accent like Madonna from being over there 1 month? I'm going to see you guys at noon. Next week, it's going to be at noon Pacific, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. PM, not AM, because I'm going to be doing it from England. It'll be nighttime in England. I might even 8 o'clock at night. I might even be in a pub having a pint. Who knows what kind of crazy shenanigans are going to be happening. But I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys. I love you guys so much. You are so fun. I love what I see when I read the comments. I don't always get to the comments. You guys are just the best. Go check out my Your Tango blog. If you go over to my site, go check it out. I got great articles up there. One on what does it mean when you see 1111? What does it mean when how to do 3 love spells? And also, is witchcraft evil? Go find out. Is it evil? Well, go find out on my blog. See you guys later. I love you. I love you. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, YouTubers. See you next week at an earlier time. Bye.